Hello everyone, I'm Alex Siman. I'm founder of Subsocial. This is a protocol and actually it's even platform, I would say, for decentralized social networking. We are building on Substrate framework created by Parity for Polkadot ecosystem. And main thing is that we created a custom blockchain for decentralized social networking, and it means that it's a very performant solution comparing to solution built on, let's say, smart contracts. Okay, so during our work on Subsocial, we tried to work on such issues with today's solution in Web2, where just a handful of corporations has control over social networking. I mean, such companies as Twitter, Facebook, Google, Reddit, and so on, right? So as of today, we have pretty cool and user-friendly solutions for social networking, but they're a little bit outdated in terms of how they're functioning, how they make money, how they work with our data, how they treat us, and so on. Right, so some of these problems are, for example, deplatforming. If the platform doesn't like you, like Reddit or Twitter, you could be removed from the platform and you can even lost your user base. So for example, you have been working years on building your followers and monetizing on this, and then you removed, and how can you restore this? Usually, sometimes they provide us with tools for exporting data, but you download some JSON file, and how normal people that are not developers will work with this data, who knows? I don't know. Another thing is manipulation, for example. So today's social network of Web2, they are working on this model that the more audience they have, the longer people look at the screens, the more they show advertisement, and the more corporations make money. Of course, it's not a very healthy approach for us, for users, because in this situation, applications is interested to show us controversial content. There we will fight each other and arguing over something, and in this way we will stay longer. So it's not healthy. Okay, next thing is, for example, we don't know what they do with our information, with our data. And if you remember that phrase, not your keys, not your data. So this is about Web2 social. And of course some other problems that you can see on the slides, but let's move. If you build social networking on open technologies like blockchain, APFS, and so on, in this situation we have the full control over our identities, over data. It's here we will have like your keys, your data, right? Your identity. So you can have access, because of technology is open and shared, you can have access to endless number of shared apps that could be alternative clients to your data. So for example, even if you don't like one app, another one, and there are, let's say, dozens, hundreds, whatever of apps, you can have a choice. You can choose what you like, because with Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, you don't have competitors. There is like your data, there is official app, and you should use it. If you don't like it, that's it. So there are no alternatives, but with our solution, it's like with Linux, you can choose what you like. If you at some moment don't like something, you can switch to another client. Of course, because of blockchain, you can remove middlemen. So, for example, in terms of monetization, you can build different ways of monetizing your follower base, your content, thanks to blockchain, because it's a very good tool for creating marketplaces, of course, right? Okay, so here are some highlights that open social networking gives to you. You can have open shared social graph, you have verifiable track record of your data and profiles, you can have or even build different ways of monetization, you can, for example, apply some DeFi tools, NFTs, whatever, because in our case, every user is a keeper, is a cryptography keeper, and that's why you can build and attach any existing monetizations that you have already in blockchains. Either it's substrate-based or Ethereum-based, and so on. Cool. Another slide is, okay, why it's moving? Yeah, cool. So here's a very rough overview of our platform. On the left side, you can see simplified architecture. So the main component is custom blockchain built for social networking. It's called Subsocial, and it's built on Substrate, the same framework that is used to build Polkadot, Kusama, and dozen other parachains. Also, other components of our stack is IPFS. So IPFS is for storing and sharing content. Content could be stored in public way or encrypted way, right? So you can do whatever you want with content. Also in our stack we have JavaScript SDK. Actually it's written in TypeScript, so it's very comfortable to use in terms of types. On top of it we have GraphQL, because in our stack we have such a thing like a subsquid. It allows you to index data from blockchain, from IPFS and database, so that's end-user applications, whether it's web applications or mobile, they can very comfortably work with data through SQL type of queries, through GraphQL, for example. And on the right side, you can see some screenshots. On top, white is GraphQL playground, so you can make some requests and get a look at data. And we also have Playground. Playground allows you to test and try requests to Subsocial blockchain, to IPFS, and it returns the aggregated data. And it has collection of this one, and it has collection of typical requests, methods to see what you can do with our platform. And here on this left side, you can see dub. It means that thanks to the open shared stack, you can have endless number of apps built on top of it. Okay, so in our case, we're trying to follow the simplest approach. So we usually try to create the more higher and higher level of abstractions for developers, so that it's easier to create decentralized social apps. And you don't need to know neither Solidity nor Rust, but just JavaScript, TypeScript is enough, because we have, as I mentioned before, TypeScript SDK, GraphQL, even higher level of abstraction templates that allows you to build social dApps. So here, overview of some core components of the system. Like in our case, we have this pellets. Who knows what is pellets? Who knows in Substrate? Okay, a couple of people know. Nice. For people who don't know, I usually say these are modules. So like we have a modular blockchain, and we use such modules like spaces and profiles. They allow you to build, for example, if in terms of social networking, groups, blogs, chats, and so on. Also, we have decentralized username system. We have posts, comments. I mean, this is a pretty self-descriptive, right? It's like follow, reactions. I think I don't need to explain what does it mean. It exactly means the same like that you have in Web2 social networking. And on this right side, it says like with these components, you can have pretty flexible situation where you can build different types of apps with small or big amount of social networking functionality. So in our situation, at this very moment, we have several apps built on top of Subsocial. For example, Grill Chat is decentralized Web3 native chat that is similar to Telegram, but on top of Subsocial. Also, we have Polkaverse. It's a Medium-like app that is where you can write long reads, for example, write some announcements, and so on. Polkadot Arena is also kind of a blog-like application created by Italian ambassadors of Polkadot. Post Forever allows you to cross-post tweets from the Twitter to Subsocial. So, for example, you can enter a tweet URL and it will be cross-posted to IPFS and Subsocial blockchain. And SubID is a portfolio manager for like 40-something Substrate chains. Okay, here is a demonstration of Grill, the first dApp that I mentioned. It's a decentralized Web3 native chat. And the key features here is that it's mobile friendly. You can try to use it. Here is a URL. It's grill.chat. You can go and use it right now. Why you can use it? Because it doesn't ask you for tokens, for extension, and no transaction confirmations. So we already tested it many times with people on the street, and everyone can open on mobile and pretty easy use it. Also, soon there will be support for email login or wallet connect. We are working on this right now. It will allow people to log in with email, of course, and underneath we will create something like proxy and we'll sign transactions for people. And of course, such as its custom blockchain that we developed, it's super cheap to use. And in our situation, we created solutions that are even free to end users. So we sponsor transactions. So on this slide, we show that Grill is very flexible because it can be embedded on any site. For example, here's a site that is for NFTs, Singular. And here is one of our sites, sub-ID, and Grill is already integrated here. So one of the features of Grill is that you can embed it anywhere, on any Web2 or Web3 chat, Web3 site, and in this way you can add social functionality to any site, app or dApp, right? And actually integration very easy. You can do it like in 3 lines, or if you need some customization, it's also possible. So here we are saying that one discourse equals many clients. So thanks to open and shared model of Subsocial and Grill, it means that you can use any clients, and all the data and networking and following goes through the one shared layer. And then on top of this layer, you can have an endless number of clients, right? So this is a super cool feature. And it's really possible to choose what you prefer. Like if you don't like one app, you can go to another one. If you don't like those apps, you can fork them, you can customize or build your own. So what we see here, the man hates computer because computer requires man to do a lot of hard work. So if you try to build a really world-class level quality app, it requires tons of work. You need to fix tons of things like issues, errors. You need to do infinite scroll, lazy loading if you do like social networking. You need to think about moderation because you can build systems that like for everyone, but then everyone comes and send you some parts of the body and so on. And of course, it should be mobile friendly and yeah. So here's a revenge. Okay, so if creating Web2 apps is hard, Web3 apps is even more harder, right? Because you need to handle next set of problems over here, like connections to blockchain and IPFS, and then even more optimizations and optimistic UI updates. For example, if you have block time like 6 seconds, 12 seconds, of course, for UI it will be super slow. You need to do some optimistic updates. It means like if you change something on UI, you should see like updates, but on background things are going through blockchain in parallel. So of course somebody should program all this stuff. And then integration with crypto extensions and some other things that you need to work on, like handle updates of libraries, and everything is pain. So what we're proposing, as I mentioned before, Grill, it's a very user-friendly Web3 chat, and we think that it could be considered as a higher level of abstraction. So as I mentioned before, we have Subsocial blockchain, we have SDK, we have GraphQL, and then higher level is end-user apps. So we see Grill as template. You can think like WordPress, but for for decentralized social networking. And in future, we're planning to create like themes. For example, right now, Grill looks like Telegram, but it's super possible to make a Discord-like application from it, even Twitter, Instagram, and so on. Because if you look at all these applications, they have in common that they have like a blog or profile, and each blog or profile has posts, and post has comments and reactions, and having all these elements already, it's just a matter of UI customization to have different look and feel. And one of the ways to add more functionality to the grill is through extensions. So here's a demonstration of one such extension that we're already working on. It will allow you to embed NFTs right into the chat. So we can select chain, contract address, and token ID. And this is how it will be rendered even better. Okay, so here's like a short overview how we store extension data, because in case with Subsocial, we store content of posts of spaces in IPFS, so not to grow blockchain too fast, right? And on the first level, we store such things like title, description, body of a post over here. And for extensions, we have a special separate field called extensions. And it means that it is an array of extra information. So for example, for image, there will be a link to image or video. And for NFTs, there will be either URL or better like chain and smart contract address and NFT ID. And in this way, you can extend chat to any functionality, really. You can embed token prices, for example, with chart of a token. You can build a token swap. You can build DAO tools, tips, donations, and so on. Actually, you can read about here, like some of ideas for inspiration, what you can do with our high level of abstraction that is called Grill Chat. And we already started working on some of them, like NFTs, and then like some information from DID, like decentralized usernames. You can build also NFT voting, for example, because we have this upvote and vote things, and you can check if a user owns this NFT. You can do accept, vote, or reject, and so on. And basically, the coolest thing that you could do with this is that you can build simplified user interfaces to any smart contracts, either on Ethereum or Substrate. Right now, our solution is built on top of Substrate, but next week we will release integration with Ethereum, so you will be able to link your EVM address to Substrate address, and that means you will be able to execute any functionality created on Substrate or Ethereum. Oh. Okay. So here is one of the ideas that we are thinking about is build to earn. Who is familiar with the Star portal, dub staking on a Star? Okay, a couple of people, cool. So for those who don't know, on a Star there is an interesting concept. You can create, if you're owner, creator of a smart contract or a dApp, you can submit it to a catalog of dApps working on top of a Star, and then holders of a Star token, they can stake for your solution if they like it, if they are fans of it, and then there is an inflation on a Star network, and rewards from inflation is distributed among across all these dApps and people who stake for these dApps. So we are thinking about similar solution where every extension or content creator could be listed in the catalog, right? And people could stake with our token for content creators or dApp creators. So we are calling it creator staking. It's not yet developed, it's in process, but we are planning to release it, I think maybe during this year. It's jumping so fast. Okay, so this is a chat where you can provide feedback about Grill. If you try the Grill, if you like it, you can write about it. If you don't like, if you want something else, here you can write feedback to us. Cool. Thank you very much. Do we have any questions? Either everything is super clear or not clear at all.
So I have just checked the grill chat actually, and I could see like 24 open chat. So my question was like, do you somehow decide which chat are like open or which like I can see, or will you open all chat for everyone, or how you will manage this like in the future? Like, do you will have the first page like full of chat, or like how this works?
Yeah. So first of all. It's more about technology, and as I mentioned before, it's built on open and shared data, social graph, and so on. And anyone can launch their own UI. And Grill Chat is open sourced. You can fork it, you can launch it, and you can show any chats you really want. In our situation, it's just like, in our opinion, what we want to show. But it doesn't mean that it's forced to everyone. So, for example, I also mentioned that it's super easy to integrate, and we already integrated this couple of sites, like on Zeitgeist app, it's integrated, and there is Polka Studies that they integrated Grill, and they show what they want to show. They show their chats, right? But on Grill, you can see there is a Hubs tab, and in Hubs you can see like chats about Grill, chats about Polkadot Hub, chats about events. For example, if you go to Hub events, you should find decoded PolkadotPrague, and you can write their feedback about this event, for example, in a pseudonymous way. So yeah, if you don't like how we show it, you can launch it, you can do in your way. Does this answer your question? Cool. Okay, any more questions? Okay. Wait.
Could you please tell more about content moderation in the app? Like, how are you moderating content? Because if it's open, like, there has to be some delay for the post to actually go up. So in that meantime, is that a lapse of moderation, or how are you doing it? Like,
yeah, this is a very good question, and it's not easy topic. In our situation, we did it this way. So anyone can post anything on IPFS and blockchain. Currently, we are sponsoring transactions and IPFS storage. So, for example, if we don't like content, we can remove from IPFS. But if you not agree with us, you can pin to your IPFS and say, I don't care about you, I am pinning what I want, and you can do it. And if, for example, if we or somebody don't like your content from blockchain point of view, don't want to sponsor, you can get, for example, tokens and post directly. And if some UI don't like your content, you can fork again and show your content. But from point of managers of UI, we have a solution. It is centralized moderation per like site or DApp owner. So they can click on a message, copy metadata like post ID or author public address, and block it into database. And then on next render of UI, UI checks if this content or author is blocked. It just don't render on this particular UI. But again, if you don't agree with this decision, you can go to another instance or run your own. So like, again, anyone can post to IPFS or blockchain what they want, but if somebody else doesn't like, they can moderate through centralized database. And if the owner don't like, they can go to another instance or launch their own. Yes? Cool. Anything, any other, okay, we have one.
Hi, thanks a lot for the presentation. I wonder what are the privacy-preserving features of the Grill chat. So, for instance, I may be interested in creating a closed group and may not want to have any data or metadata being stored in the plain way in IPFS or any like decentralized storage. So, what are the options for me in this case?
What are the options for what?
For privacy-preserving features, if I need more privacy on.
Privacy, for example, like
a closed chat that is, invite
okay,
only.
so again, on IPFS you can store anything, and it means that you can encrypt your content and put on IPFS. Even actually in our blockchain, the field that is responsible for link to the storage could have another type, like I think it's custom or something, and it could be even pointer to a private database. So, I mean, in our SDK UI, we don't support it yet, but on blockchain it is. So, for example, you can make pull request or something like that. Or if you see that people start asking more and more questions about private IDs to private databases, we can easily add support for this. So, first, you can encrypt your content and encrypt to a list of public keys, or you can encrypt to a shared secret key, and so on if you want group encryption. Or you can store in private database and then put a blockchain link to that private database record.
Okay, so if no one has any more questions, I would like to give an applause Alex and thank him for his presentation.
Cool, thank you.